we
6
can
months.
kind of tell you. I'm pregnant with my first too, so super excited about that.
Yay.
6 months postpartum, Aubrey says.
Ooh,
That's a
Sabrina,
little
you are
one.
getting close. 33 and a
33
half weeks.
25 weeks off. So jealous of everyone being further along than me. Oh my God. 17 weeks pregnant. Postpartum for 4 years. Hopped on to learn. We love that. There's always like I love learning about this stuff. When I was pregnant with my second, I decided to do like a postpartum certification, pregnancy postpartum, and I just loved learning it because it really helps you, at least for me, I felt so like validated in my experiences and like why I felt the way I did, with just learning like
Yes.
what was going on in my body, even postpartum, like with how long it took to like feel hormonally normal and like learning like why. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly the point. I started to feel better and there was like a scientific reason behind it. And it made me feel so much better about like, I'm not crazy. Everything was like
Yes.
for a purpose and normal.
And what
Body's
to be doing. Like you don't know like what to do throughout pregnancy. Like, okay, what do workouts look like now? Like pelvic floor. Like I remember I was like, what is that? Like I had no clue, learning all those different things that are so important throughout pregnancy to be taken care of. So there's so much important info we're going to go through tonight. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for hopping on and congratulations on being pregnant. Or if you're trying to get postpartum, you are in the right place. I promise you will get something out of tonight. So, welcome to our Fit Pregnancy class. Tonight will be pregnancy, tomorrow will be postpartum. So, if you are pregnant, I highly suggest coming on tomorrow night too, because we're going to have a lot more information as well of what postpartum is going to look like. So please try to come if you can. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how to have your fittest and healthiest pregnancy. First, let's get to know each other. I know we dropped, if you just hopped on, please drop in the chat if you are pregnant or postpartum and how many kiddos you have so we can get to know each other. If you have any questions throughout the night, as Coach Lindsay and I are going through this, please drop it in the chat because we will go back and we will read through questions. Coach Chelsea will be answering questions in the chat as well throughout our time.
and please let us know if you're also trying to get pregnant if you're comfortable sharing that too.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Coach Lindsay. A little bit about me and my fitness journey. So, growing up, I was always kind of obsessed with the scale, just being the smallest version of myself. I would go to extremes just to burn out and never be consistent, which I think a lot of us can relate to. When I first started my job in respiratory therapy on night shift, I started to struggle even more. I was exhausted, uncomfortable in my body, and felt like absolutely nothing worked for me. Turns out I just wasn't doing anything right and didn't have the right strategies. So I actually joined the Slay Squad and learned how to break free of that and heal my all or nothing mindset and truly build a body I loved. So I was a client just like some of you guys are. I healed my relationship with food and alcohol, and I also started to focus on my overall health versus constantly chasing new low weigh-ins. So this year, my husband and I decided to start a family. So I became even more health focused. I focused on being in a maintenance phase to really support my body versus being in a cut or calorie deficit. Because I wanted to get pregnant, and I ended up getting pregnant on our second month of trying. So far, I've had a relatively easy pregnancy. Third trimester is kind of putting me through it. I'm exhausted, but still been able to focus on eating nutrient dense food, lifting weights, and staying active. And I truly believe the habits you have before pregnancy can really help you with feeling better and then maintaining those healthy habits. If you already have good habits, it's going to help when you're in the season where it feels harder to keep going with them.
Can you all see the screen? Just nod. I think we got it up, but making sure. Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Okay, and before I share a little bit about myself, I would love to if you girls would share in the chat, like what are you wanting to get out of tonight? Why did you join this? Like what is it that you're learn? We'd love to see what those are from you as well. So I'm Coach Kayla. Thank you all for coming on tonight. A little bit about me. I started my fitness journey about 11 years ago. This was me. I was a skinny mini. I did lots of cardio, no strength training, ate lots of salads and drank lots of coffee and was never hydrated. And so I was miserable and I did not want to live that way. So I ended up hiring an online coach myself, and started lifting weights and started eating more food and getting in more protein and totally changed my life. My husband and I really got into fitness together. And then I became an online coach. I had my first baby at the age of 33. And while I was pregnant, I went and got my pre and postnatal certification. And everything that I was learning, I was able to apply. And I had a really smooth postpartum. Here I am postpartum, you can see, and this was about like 9 months after. So I had a really great transformation. The baby weight came off fairly quickly, and that was because of what I did. I'm going to share with you tonight, like how I took care of myself in my pregnancy. Everything that Lindsay and I are going to share is what I did, and it made such a difference, not only like throughout my pregnancy, but postpartum as well. And now I'm pregnant with my second. I am almost 30 weeks and I'm doing the exact same things. And I'm looking forward to having another smooth postpartum as well. And I truly believe, ladies, I have built my best body after having my babies. Like I know some women think, oh, once you're pregnant, your body's never go back and it might look different, but I love it even more now. I'm stronger. I love the way I look even more. And again, it's because of taking care of my health pre-pregnancy, pregnancy, postpartum, and on.
Yay, Kayla. Love it. Awesome. I would love if you guys dropped Fit Mama in the chat too if you want to have a fit pregnancy. Let's really hype each other up and get ourselves in the mindset of just staying strong through this pregnancy.
Yes. Okay, so our goals for tonight. So, what we want you, excuse me, to learn tonight is the changes that your body's going to be experiencing and going throughout pregnancy, which there's a lot. How to not gain too much weight while being pregnant so that you feel comfortable in your skin postpartum. I'm sure some of you, many of you, maybe all of you want to learn that one. How to reduce the risk of health complications for you and the baby, and how to stay healthy and active throughout your entire pregnancy, physically and mentally. You will leave our class tonight, so by the time we finish, you will know modifications to diet and workouts for each trimester, how to strengthen your core and help prevent diastasis recti. And is there another one, Linz? Is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay, I didn't know if it scrolled down.
Okay, and then pregnancy stats. So 60% of women will have some level of diastasis recti. Maternal mortality 22.3 deaths per 100,000 live births in 2022, significantly higher than rates in other developed countries. 5 to 8% of pregnancies in the US will develop preeclampsia. 5 to 9% of pregnancies will get gestational diabetes. 6 to 20% of women will have some level of postpartum depression. Postpartum weight loss, 75% of women remain heavier 1 year after childbirth. So these are just some statistics so you are aware. And this is why we really want to dive into having a healthy pregnancy and taking care of ourselves. Why all this matters, many things are outside of our control, so much, but a healthy lifestyle, lifting weights, eating well, managing weight gain, taking care of your core can minimize the risk of complications and even death for both mom and baby.
Yes, on that stat of like the maternal mortality, the United States is actually the worst in the world of any first world country for mom baby outcomes, which is terrifying. So it's like we have some of the best medical care in the world, but yet some of the worst maternal mortality. And, my thoughts or feelings on that is that it probably has to do with our lifestyle being worse than a lot of other first world countries. We have higher obesity rates. We have higher, really diabetes rates. We have higher all these things. And then we, go in and we still get pregnant. And that's, I believe, part of it. It's just kind of my theory, because we have, again, great medical care. So it's what is causing that, And so it is really important that we do what we can. Some things you can't control, but we should do what we can to be in a good spot.
Mhm. Absolutely. And what you're doing right now in your pregnancy, ladies, is going to dictate your postpartum. And even what you did, pre-pregnancy, like all of it just flows together. So weight training and a healthy diet should come with you through every stage of life, postpartum, even years postpartum. You want to make sure that sorry, that you are continuing to stay healthy even long after. If you wait train 9 months long and watch your weight the best you can, you will have people asking you, what did you do? Like, how do you look like that? Or how are you feeling so good postpartum? And your body is made to do this. So make sure that this is something that you do, okay? You don't want to slack throughout your pregnancy. You keep showing up. Our motto is keep moving, mama. So you keep moving, keep showing up because it's only going to benefit you after.
Yeah. Okay, so we are really going to dive into what happens to your body. I am a healthcare worker. I love this stuff. So, we're going to really go into detail. And I think it's insane what your body goes through when you are pregnant. You are working hard. So, it's kind of fun to like see all the changes that are happening and just be aware of them. And it helps you just have more awareness in what you can do to take care of yourself more. So HCG increases. So this is what gives you your positive pregnancy test. So the level of HCG rises consistently until it reaches a peak around the end of your first trimester. And this is typically when you start to notice that the nausea is going away as well. This is not for every single person's experience, but typically after first trimester, you have less of that nausea. This hormone is also responsible for increasing the blood supply to the pelvis, which can cause the signal to empty your bladder to increase. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like I had to pee all the time in first trimester. Progesterone keeps the uterus muscle relaxed by inhibiting it from contracting, which also helps with preventing preterm labor. So, progesterone also plays a role in the immune system by helping the body actually tolerate the foreign DNA, which is your baby. So progesterone contributes to relaxation of the blood vessels throughout the body, which can contribute to lower than normal blood pressure. Because it also relaxes all smooth muscles like the intestines, the passage of food through the intestines can actually slow down and contribute to constipation. So the pelvic floor is going to undergo a lot of strain during your labor. So you don't want to have additional strain on a daily basis due to constipation. And that's another reason it's so important to pay attention to nutrition and eating a proper diet to help with that. So during pregnancy, the general feeling of exhaustion, as well as feeling breathlessness, can be caused by progesterone. Progesterone makes your body extra sensitive to carbon dioxide in your blood and actually causes you to breathe more deeply so that oxygen demands for you and your baby are met.
I would love to hear in the chat what are some symptoms you are experiencing currently in your stage of pregnancy. They can be annoying or not too bad, but drop what you're feeling.
Yes, I know first trimester, I was peeing all the time. I didn't have constipation, but just so tired. Anyone else tired?
Acid reflux, that's the worst. I had that too. Actually, like first trimester, which I was like, what is this? And I Googled, it was like 5 weeks. And I Googled and it was like a hormonal thing. It can be like when the baby gets big and pushes up eventually, but it can happen early from hormones. And then it went away. Thank goodness.
I've had acid reflux since second trimester. It's been awful. Tired all the time, a lot of pressure, yes. Okay, more hormonal changes. They just keep coming, you guys. So, estrogen levels rise slowly and consistently throughout pregnancy until estrogen starts to be produced even more quickly at the end of pregnancy. So, the role of estrogen is to help stimulate hormone production in the fetus's adrenal gland, stimulate growth of the fetus's adrenal gland, and prepare and enhance your uterus so it can respond to oxytocin when the time comes to birth your baby, because oxytocin is what actually signals your contractions. Relaxin is a hormone produced by the ovaries and the placenta that is responsible for relaxing the ligaments in the pelvis as well as softening and lengthening the cervix. So, relaxin is often blamed for the aches and pains we feel associated with pregnancy. So, you may feel less stable in all joints, especially in your pelvis area. And as you can see, this is just showing your hormones and how they are changing throughout pregnancy.
Yes, I just dropped that in the chat. Actually, maybe you'll get to this more. But you're way more likely to like hurt yourself when you're pregnant. So you just have to be very careful with like what movements you do with your balance, all of that, because those hormones do make you a little bit like wobblier, like your joints, you're actually a little bit more flexible. And so you can even sleep wrong and kind of be like in a position where you're hyperextending something. I know I've done that many times where I wake up and I'm like, what is that? And it's because like the hormones make you where you kind of can get in weird positions or hurt yourself because everything is loosening up so that your pelvis will open up. It's amazing, but it's also like it's kind of creepy and kind of scary.
It is weird, and it's good to be aware of it. If you don't know these things, you don't really understand what's happening to your body. You can't be aware and know, like, oh, maybe that's why I'm feeling pain there, or how can I adjust my position to help with that? And we will talk a little bit about that, but it's so interesting. Okay, and now we're going to talk about your cardiovascular system, respiratory system, all the amazing things that our bodies are doing to support our pregnancy and our baby. So, the cardiovascular system, your pregnant body must work harder to circulate oxygen and blood around your body. Your heart rate will fluctuate in each trimester, but early on, your resting heart rate will actually increase by about 10 to 20 beats per minute. So this means when you're exercising, your heart rate will also be higher. This increase is caused by hormonal changes, including those that cause vasodilation, which is just the widening of your blood vessels. So as a result of this widening, the blood pressure drops, so your pregnant body must work harder to circulate oxygen and blood throughout a larger surface area. So the heart isn't just working harder because of the surface area, it's also due to your increased blood volume, which increases by almost 50%, and then increased cardiac output. So your heart is working hard, you guys. And then your respiratory system. Early on in pregnancy, hormonal changes contribute to feeling a breathlessness, right? Like you may think, why is it so hard to breathe already? This is going to be your hormonal changes. Even though you're actually getting more oxygen in your system, it just doesn't feel like it. And then as pregnancy progresses, the uterus actually moves up out of your pelvis and into the space where it's hard for your diaphragm to fully expand when you take a breath. So it can make it feel like you can't actually get a deep breath in. And then this part I think is so cool, just like the skeletal changes and what's happening to our body and how we can be aware of it and actually make it so we don't feel as much pain. So our skeletal changes. Growth of the abdomen in pregnancy causes shifts in the center of gravity. When not pregnant, your weight should be over your heels, meaning your pelvis should be over your ankles and your ribs should be over your pelvis, right? So as your belly grows, there's greater mass out in front. That can start to alter your center of gravity, but ideally, you should still pay attention to this and try and keep your pelvis over your ankles. So abdominal changes. With the pull of the growing abdomen, the tendency is the top of the pelvis is going to start actually tipping interiorly or forward, resulting in a more significant curve in the lumbar spine or your lower back, which you can see right here. So you want to be really aware of your posture, you guys. Many women are not aware of the subtle alignment shifts and think it's normal to have a ton of aches and pains in pregnancy, which some are normal, right? We're going to be uncomfortable, but we want to do whatever we can to help ease this. So with the right body awareness, education, and daily movement, pregnancy can be more comfortable and alignment can be maintained close to normal even with the shifts of your gravity. So the key to this is to move with awareness. Release tension around the pelvis and ensure that you work your glutes throughout pregnancy to help support these changes.
Yes, strong, really strong glutes and a strong core can help a lot with that lower back pain.
Yeah, that was also interesting, Lindsay. Like it's wild what our bodies do.
It's going through so much. Your
It
body,
is.
you're working so hard. And I
It
just think
is.
that's so cool to understand like what you're actually doing to grow this little human.
And
Yeah,
like
like
such
we're
a short period. Like
Mm-hmm.
yes,
think about it.
exactly in such a
Like
short period.
And the like alignment stuff, that's really all at the end, like because your baby isn't really big enough to do much of that at the beginning. So it's like really like in 4 months, 4.5 months, your body's going through insane changes physically. So if you feel any of these things that we've talked about, that's why.
Yeah.
Do you
Our
guys make sure
husbands
you,
and
oh,
oh,
sorry.
I was just gonna say our husbands have no clue like what pregnancy all entails. They should be on this call with us because this is just it's crazy. It's unreal. It's amazing.
I made Luke like help support me get off the couch the other day. I was like, you gotta push my back up.
Yes,
Help.
You're not allowed to be tired or say their back hurts ever while
exactly.
we're pregnant.
I know, exactly. Okay, let's talk about nutrition, okay? I would love to hear any cravings that you are having. I would love to hear, or food aversions, if there's something that like I just cannot have right now. Drop it in the chats. I always just find it so interesting. And they say too, what is it? Salty, you're having a boy, sweet, you're having a girl. I don't, it was true for me, but I don't know how much that's true, but I would love to hear. And then like, if you're having a boy or girl, we'll see how true of that it is. But a lot of changes will be happening to your body as baby grows and your body does too. It's important that you have a healthy and active pregnancy, like we've been talking about, but also a well-balanced diet, okay? Nutrition with pregnancy, I know a lot of people are go all out with their cravings or use the term I'm eating for two, but that can really add up. So let's focus on first some essentials that you need to have for pregnancy when it comes to nutrition. And that's just important for baby to be getting. And a lot of these you get in your prenatal vitamin as well, but if you can add it into your diet, even better. Folic acid is important because it prevents neural tube defects. It can be found in your leafy greens, citrus fruits, fortified cereals. Iron is very important. It supports increased blood volume. It's found in lean meats, so make sure you're getting in protein. Protein is just so very important to have for so many reasons besides iron, especially if you're feeling very nauseous or you have any kind of food aversion. Protein, that's what my doctor told me. Like protein really helps with it, and it does. So lean meats, beans, and spinach. Calcium, of course, we know helps with bone development. Dairy, of course, almonds, plant milk. Like I said, protein, how it helps with growth. It's found in eggs, of course, your meat, poultry, tofu, fish. You can only have certain fish as well. Omega-3 fatty acids supports with brain development. Salmon, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts. Foods to avoid, and I'm sure your doctor has talked about this with you, but we'll just go through them really quickly. Raw or undercooked meats, seafood, and eggs. There's a risk of infection. Unpasteurized dairy and juices, and I know deli meat, there's a risk of listeria. Who is missing their deli meat? I miss sandwiches so much. But you can heat it up in the microwave, so, or you can like heat it up too on the stove. So just remember that. High mercury fish, such as shark and swordfish, can affect the baby's nervous system. So just watch for that mercury level. And then caffeine. There is a limit of caffeine. All my caffeine lovers, I know I was a huge coffee girl, but try to limit it to 200 milligrams a day. So about 1 cup, sometimes a cup and a half you can have as well. And then, of course, no alcohol at all.
And I just wanted to add to this, like all these things that you need in pregnancy, all these little micronutrients. If you do not eat enough of it, the baby is usually able to pull what it needs from you. So it is your body that will suffer usually before the baby. So, for example, if you aren't eating enough calcium when the bones are being forming, that baby is going to pull calcium from your bones, and you're going to have very brittle bones. There's a lot of pregnant women that my best friend actually broke a bone while she was like super pregnant.
Mm,
And she also had a really hard time eating. So you are a lot more likely to break bones, lose hair,
mm,
have all kinds of physical problems because the baby, your body is designed to give all the nutrients to the baby, which is incredible.
mm.
It's amazing. It made for like babies that could survive even when there wasn't a lot of food, when the moms couldn't eat well, a long time ago. But just understand that it's baby that will suffer, but you'll probably suffer too. And some of that never comes back. Like if you lose too much bone density, sometimes that doesn't get rebuilt. So when we talk about these things in pregnancy and nutrition, it really is important.
Yes. And do your best. Like I know for me, I was very nauseous and sick, and my nutrition was not the best first trimester. It
Same.
did get better, but do what you can, find what works, try different things. maybe things that you've never had before, you'll love eating now, like for me, kiwi. I'm like, kiwi's so random, but I loved having it. I never would have kiwi. So just try different things, so that you can get in those nutrients.
And
Um,
some of your cravings, real quick, like kiwi, like some of these cravings might be your body trying to tell you you need something, you
yeah,
know? So, like,
yeah.
I'm not saying if you're craving Chick-fil-A to eat that every day, but like if you're craving something like a kiwi, you might actually need some of the
Mhm.
vitamins and minerals that can supply to you.
Yeah, like I'm not a huge dairy person, but I chug the milk like crazy. And so my body's needing that, So yeah, try to get in what you can. Let's talk about symptoms. I would love to hear if any of these apply. I know we kind of shared, but if any of them apply to you, drop it and give some of these a try. Let's see if they can help. So, some common pregnancy problems, and here's what you can do to help and prevent them the best that you can. I know it may not work for everyone, but do your very best. Constipation, an easy fix is just more fiber. Okay, so get in some of those more fruits and vegetables, and lots of water. Stay hydrated as much as possible. Heartburn. Whew, I know a couple of you said heartburn, which is usually in the third trimester. It can be, earlier too. It's different for everyone. Just try to get in some small meals, smaller meals, limiting the fluids with your meals, limit caffeine and spicy foods. I know spicy foods is a big trigger. Don't lie down after you eat. So don't have a meal and just go lie on the couch. If you can get up and maybe go for a walk, move your body after and see if that helps. And then I know there are some like medications and Tums you can take. Of course, just, confirm with your doctor and things too. Hypertension, which can lead to preeclampsia, very dangerous. So, of course, weight gain, which we're going to talk more about and later on here, how to monitor that. Watch your sodium intake, exercise, which we're going to be talking about. Move your body, ladies. I know sometimes it might be the last thing you want to do, but get up, go for a little walk, move your body. Just get moving as much as possible. Get checked frequently. Of course, your doctor's going to diagnose you, so you're going to get checked more frequently so you can monitor it. And with that, you may need an induction or C-section. And then last one, nausea and vomiting. Raise your hand if that's you. Smaller meals really helps. I know for me, getting in smaller meals with protein really helped. And just like good fat, like avocado really helped me. I know there's like little suckers you can have, and then bland foods as well. And hopefully it'll just pass. If not, hang in there.
I would love to hear you guys what you're most excited for after you have the baby too. Like Kayla already commented deli meat. That's what I'm most excited for. I want to
Yeah.
sub and to get out of bed without having to really think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, trimester one, symptoms and body changes. Fatigue, nausea, vomiting, mood swings, frequent urination, food aversion, lightheadedness. These are all the things that you can start to feel, and then your belly can start to grow, right? Workouts and nutrition, and modifications for that. So, nutrition calorie intake is the same as what you were eating. If you were eating 1,800 calories, you will stay at that amount. So, you don't need to make any changes with your calorie intake for first trimester. Focus on maintaining fitness rather than intense workouts. You don't want to use this time to just hit PRs and go as hard as possible. You want to focus on maintaining your strength, maintaining the fitness level you're at, right? This is not a time to start increasing strength training programs or workouts. If new to fitness, use very light dumbbells and or body weight. Ab modifications are not needed yet. Recommendations are walking, swimming, strength training, prenatal yoga, and avoid contact sports, please. Overheating, lying flat on your back for a long period of time.
I just want to touch on the overheating real quick because I think some people don't quite understand it or realize like how important it is, but like no hot baths or hot tubs. People know the hot tubs, but even be careful of the baths. And it's most important in that very, very early stage of pregnancy, which what's kind of scary about it is like sometimes it's before women even know that they're pregnant, around week 3 to 5. It can really affect the neurotube development if you were to get in a hot tub or a hot bath. Once you're like further along, I think the baby's a lot like that has already been developed, that part of the baby. But neurotube defects and really severe like spinal cord issues are caused when women get in hot tubs or really hot baths really early on, a lot of times before they even know they're pregnant. And I didn't realize how bad it was till I read a post, an article recently from a doctor talking about it, that it can be as early as 3 weeks and how to be so careful with the hot tubs and even the hot baths, or even if you get a fever or overheating from like just being out in the sun. Just be a lot more cautious. You're just so much more, I don't want to say the word fragile because like I believe we should still be like strong, but certain things about us are more fragile that you just have to be careful of.
Or saunas. I know for the fitness girls, saunas are huge. You have to be careful of that one. Okay, trimester two, symptoms and body changes. So visible growing belly and weight gain, energy levels return, fetal movement, increased appetite, back pain, swelling, skin changes, heartburn, and constipation. Lots of stuff going on.
So fun.
Great stuff. I would love if you guys dropped when you started feeling your baby too. That was so exciting for me with it being my first one. I felt it at about 18 weeks. Workout and nutrition modifications. So this is when your nutrition increases. So the calories go up by like 300 to 400 to support your growing baby. You are growing, so it's important to focus on core and pelvic floor exercises to help prevent diastasis recti. Recommended to continue strength training with some modifications, deep core exercises, resistance bands, prenatal yoga or Pilates, and walking. I try to walk a lot. Walking is so great for you guys. Core breathing, which we are going to actually demonstrate for you. And then avoid deep twisting movements, heavy weights, high impact jumping.
Okay, trimester three. Woohoo, you're almost there. So this is the big change. Symptoms and body changes. Baby is growing rapidly. So be prepared to really see your stomach get even bigger, to feel baby drop more into the pelvis because baby's growing. You'll be more tired. You'll have a lot more shortness of breath, which you probably can tell Lindsay and I do. Braxton Hicks, you're going to start to feel. You're going to have difficulty sleeping and an increased appetite. Some diet and workout modifications. So nutrition, once again, you're going to increase calories about 500 more a day. It's recommended that you do very light strength training. And keep going. Keep doing your strength training. Don't just go, you know what, I'm in the third trimester, forget it. Keep going. Use lighter. I know for me right now, I'm starting to use my 5 pound dumbbells, like just going really light. You can even do body weight. If that's too much, just focus on body weight, but just keep moving. You're also going to want to do a lot of stretching and mobility work for your hips and pelvic tilt to prepare for labor. And we're going to talk more about some of those exercises that you can actually be doing. I'm going to share some with you here in a little bit. Deep core breathing is so important to help with your pelvic floor. And then walking. Then, like I said, it's really important right now that you're focusing on mobility and flexibility to get ready for baby to come. Avoid exercises that are requiring balance because you're big. Lying on your back too long, you're going to feel uncomfortable doing that anyways, so stay on your side. No intense cardio, just very light walks and any strain on your core. And then abs, don't crunch or lay or squish the house, which is your belly. All right, let's talk about healthy weight gain. So, weight gain is totally natural and normal part of pregnancy. You can see here in our little diagram over here, here's where the weight is coming from, which is so interesting. You can see the weight that baby's bringing in, our breasts, right? Woohoo, are growing, larger uterus, amniotic fluid, placenta, increased blood volume, increased fluid volume, and then of course some fat too. So look at, I mean, it's just crazy where all the weight comes from. But there is a certain and healthy weight, ladies, that we should be gaining. And then there's an unhealthy weight as well. So 15 to 40 pounds is considered healthy, and that's based on your starting weight as well. If you were underweight and have a very low body fat, you may need to gain over 40 pounds to support a healthy pregnancy. If you are obese, you will probably only need to gain about 15 pounds. So why does weight gain matter? It's not just about how we look, right? Which I know that's something we focus on, but there's a lot more when it comes to weight gain throughout pregnancy and it comes to your health. And it can be very scary and you can put yourself and the baby at risk. So with weight gain, if you gain a severe amount, it's an increased risk of gestational diabetes, having a large baby, which of course is harder to deliver, which delivery might look different, hypertension, preeclampsia, postpartum weight retention and swelling, back aches, body aches, swollen ankles, all of it, increased risk of diabetes later in your life, increased chance of having a C-section. And then there's the risk, of course, for baby. So macrosomnia, which is a larger baby than normal, right? And that probably will lead to you having a C-section. Preterm birth, higher risk of childhood obesity. Isn't that wild? Like what you're doing now, right now for your baby because of your weight gain can affect your baby later on with obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. So just think about that, like how important it is to have your nutrition, exercise, all of this in check and be taking care of yourself throughout pregnancy. And then fetal growth restriction.
I always thought that was so interesting, learning like, okay, if you gain too much weight, it could make your baby too big or too little. I'm like, how does that make sense? But your baby just, I don't know, for whatever reason, isn't getting what it needs or getting too much of it.
Yep.
Okay, understanding your pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor is the foundation of the core four, which is a group of deep muscles that are responsible for stabilizing and helping control your body's movement. Together with the diaphragm, transversus abdominis, and multifid, I can't say that one, multifidus, the pelvic floor has a role in breathing, creating tension in your abdominal wall and stabilizing your spine and pelvis. The pelvis floor is a collection of muscles, nerves, tendons, blood vessels, ligaments, and connective tissues, all interwoven in your pelvis. It attaches to your pubic bone all the way back to your tailbone in the back right here. It forms the base of the pelvis and has many important functions, such as being responsible for sexual response and continence, which continence is the ability to control movements of the bowels and bladder. So it's really important. As the foundation of the core, the pelvic floor helps support the pelvic organs, the bladder, rectum, and your growing uterus. During birth, the pelvic floor muscles actually must yield to allow the baby to pass through the birth canal. And there's this ejection reflex that will help to push your baby out. And for all this to occur, it often all at once, the pelvic floor muscles must have strength, endurance, timing, coordination, and control. So it's really, really important that you are focusing on your pelvic floor through pregnancy.
Okay, let's talk about labor prep. And I know this is something I just said I'm going to be sharing with you ladies, just some exercises that you can do to prep for labor because it's more than just a medical event, it's a physical one. And you are able, there's a lot you're able to do to help prep your body so that you're able to have a smooth labor and you're working with it and not against it. And what that is, ladies, is working with your core and your pelvic floor strength. That will directly help your pushing. So if you're working on your core and pelvic floor, throughout your pregnancy, you're doing these exercises I'm going to share with you. It's going to help. It's going to help with your labor. It's going to go a lot smoother. You're going to have the strength to push, and it's going to make all the difference. And you can start these exercises I'm going to share towards the end of your second trimester and then no later than 32 weeks. So, first one, pelvic opening exercises. So you can do some deep squats, some sumo squat pulses, side lunges, butterfly stretches. And if you just want to write these down, you can always look them up after. Um, Birth ball bouncing. So you can do some hip circles in both directions. You could do some figure eights with it. Just some gentle bouncing. Forward lean over the ball, and you can do that on your knees. I've been doing a lot more of those lately. It's been feeling really good. Breath, core coordination, inhale into ribs and belly, exhale, bearing down gently, relaxing and releasing. And we're actually going to show you this one, some core breathing here in just a second. Lindsay and I are going to actually demonstrate it for you. And then stretching, lots of stretching will help. Stretch your hip flexor, hamstring stretch, child's pose. Of course, get your knees wide because your belly's going to need that. But do all of these, ladies. It's going to make a really big difference. And start now. If you haven't, start now. It'll help. You want a strong core and pelvic floor.
Okay, and understanding diastasis recti, all abdominal muscles face increasing stretch and strain in pregnancy and birth. The rectus abdominis muscles moving away from the midline as the belly grows is typically considered the most visible and lasting change. And as you can see, there's some photos here. So it starts spreading apart, and that is what diastasis recti. So it's often considered to be abnormal distance between the two rectus muscles and is commonly characterized in pregnancy by that abnormal abdominal coning or doming you see when you're trying to sit up or roll. So the inability to create tension across the abdominal wall is where the diastasis poses the real threat both during pregnancy and postpartum, guys. When the muscle stretches beyond their optimal length and when the connective tissue thins, the abdominal wall can lose its ability to create that tension needed for core stability. So the function is compromised, which can create conditions such as back pain, pelvic girdle pain, and pelvic floor dysfunction. So this is why we want to be really aware of it and do things that we can to help prevent it.
Okay, so we're actually going to do a demonstration right now, and this is core breathing. So please do it with us. I highly suggest doing it with us. And if this is new to you, it might take a little bit for you to kind of feel it in the right place, but this is going to really help you strengthen your pelvic floor. And I highly suggest doing this every single day. I would do it every single day. I even did it, of course, postpartum, but even pre-pregnancy, I would do core breathing. It really helps strengthen those deep core muscles as well. So Lindsay here is going to show us how to do it, and we'll do a couple rounds. And I highly suggest, like I said, doing it with us. And I'll read through the directions. And again, if you don't feel it, like just keep doing it, keep practicing it. I do want to add too, I was sick a couple weeks ago and I coughed really hard and I peed myself a little bit. And I was like, whoa, I got to work on my pelvic floor muscles. And I started doing this every single day because I was like determined and I noticed a difference within a couple of weeks. So again, it's very, very beneficial and it'll make all the difference, but you just have to be consistent with it.
It's a
Oh,
muscle like any other muscle in your body. Like you can make it
yes.
stronger, it can get damaged, it can get tore, it can get
Mhm.
weaker.
You're exactly right, Chelsea. Yes. Just like any other muscle you want to take care of, this is just as important. So take care of it. Okay. So core breathing. So you're going to take a deep breath in. Okay. Look at Lindsay taking her breath in. As you exhale, you're going to pull your core in and you're going to imagine picking up a blueberry with your vagina and drawing it up and into your body. Okay. As you inhale, lower it down again. And that's what you're going to do. So you're going to inhale. Okay. You're going to expand as you inhale, exhale, draw in. And like I said, imagine, I know it's kind of a funny analogy, but it actually like really works. Imagine picking up a blueberry with your vagina. So you're going to draw those muscles in. Make sure that you don't squeeze the blueberry and you squish it, but you're just going to pull it in, pull your pelvic floor up. The goal is not to make blueberry juice. It is to lift, okay? So it is lift. Again, you're not squeezing it. You don't want to make it to where you can't breathe. You're just going to keep doing that for about like 4 or 5 times, whatever you want to do to where you're feeling those pelvic floor muscles. Um, we put in here to make sure you're not picking up pianos here. Just a tiny blueberry. Hope you guys like those analogies. But just continue to do it. And it really does work. It really does work. So keep being consistent with it. But core breathing, and this is another one we're going to talk about even tomorrow night too, that you can do very newly postpartum as well.
Let us know if you guys been doing the core breathing too.
Yeah, keep in touch with us. Let us know if it makes a difference. Okay, so some takeaways from tonight. I would love to hear too, like what stuck out to you the most. Drop it in the chat. What did you learn? What do you want to apply? So takeaways. So your body will go through lots of changes, as Lindsay said, and as we talked about, hormonal, pregnancy symptoms, all of it throughout the next 9 months. So take a deep breath, give yourself grace, and remember, it's just a season. I always look back and I'm like, man, that felt like forever ago. I can do it again. Exercising, nutrition, it looks different in each trimester, and it's important that you follow it and stick with it. Start strength training your core now to prevent diastasis recti. Apply that core breathing and incorporate lots of stretching and mobility work, especially in the third trimester, and apply some of those stretches that I talked about so that you can get ready for labor. Join us tomorrow night. We're going to do a postpartum session. So please come back, especially if you're pregnant or even if you're years plus postpartum, you will learn something that will help you. So please come back tomorrow night. Same time, same place. Here's some transformations from our amazing clients that we've worked through pregnancy. Some of them were freshly postpartum. And you can see here everything that we've talked about, they applied, and look how amazing that they look. They made incredible changes, not only throughout their pregnancy were they healthy and active, but then look at their postpartum. It just shows what's possible too. Like when you take care of yourself throughout your pregnancy, look where you can be postpartum. Like look how your postpartum can look. And we'll talk more about too what postpartum looks like and how you can get there. So make sure you join tomorrow night.
I also love that some of these women look better than when they started. Like, I think she's a
Yes.
great example of she got hotter after baby.
I mean, woo, yeah. It's getting hot here. They do. They look amazing. Here's just a little bit about our program, our one-on-one program, what we offer when it comes to nutrition, the one-on-one support. You get the community workouts, education, and we do pregnancy coaching as well. And that's what several of our clients have done that we showed you too. They worked with us throughout pregnancy. All of us, Coach Chelsea, Lindsay, and myself, we're all working with each other right now for coaching throughout our pregnancies because having the accountability, having exact workouts and nutrition that you need makes a huge difference rather than, doing the guesswork. So that's something that we offer in the Slay Squad if you are interested.
And then we are doing something really fun. So we've never offered this before, but we are actually offering 2 weeks free of one-on-one coaching for just a review of this class. So Chelsea will drop the link for the reviews. And then if you're able to leave the review, just send an email to this email right here. I'll put that in the chat and I'll email you guys too with your full name and then what coach you would like to work with after you leave that review. And if you are a client, you can actually gift this to someone. But this is for women that are serious. They want to take their health really seriously. They want to have a fit pregnancy. They want to feel amazing postpartum. And you're really ready to show up for yourself. We want to show you how to make modifications. We're going to do full custom one-on-one coaching for you guys where you tell us what week you're at, where you're at on your journey, and then we show you what you can be doing, what you should be doing with nutrition, what mobility workouts you can do, what deep core exercises you can do, how your workouts are going to change. We are going to go into full depth for you guys for 2 weeks and really help you kickstart your journey and take care of yourself through pregnancy. So I will drop the link in the chat or my email in the chat.
And Lindsay's also going to send out an email with this. So if you don't get to it right this second, all you have to do is leave the review. It takes like 2 minutes. Just say, whatever you took away from this class, and then email Lindsay, hey, left a review. I want my 2 weeks free and what coach you want to do your programming.
Mhm.
We're all about getting pregnant women to still weight train and do all of this. So anyone we can help encourage to do that, we want to do it.
And
Yes.
we know it's hard, you guys. Like we
It
are
is.
going through it right now.
Yeah.
It's hard. We're all still lifting weights. We're all still focused on nutrition. We're all still focused on mobility work. We want women to be the same way because if you can show up during this period of your life where it is hard, you will be successful for life, right? You will be fit for
Mhm.
life if you can show up through the hard times. So this is the time. Like prioritize yourself, prioritize your health, have a fit and strong pregnancy. It is so worth it.
Yes.
And
And like we talked
postpartum will
about,
be better.
yes, postpartum will be better. And like we shared, it not only benefits you, but baby too. Like this affects baby as well. So do it for you and do it for baby.
Awesome. Thank you guys for hopping on. And don't forget our class tomorrow, same time, same place. You'll get an email from me, and
Mhm.
it's going to be really amazing to go through postpartum and what you can do to have a great postpartum.
Yes. Thank you all for hopping on. I know your evenings are busy, so we appreciate you and hopefully we'll hear from some of you and be in touch.